All right, we all set? All right, good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you and open this public hearing on the Bethel High School track. You're getting ahead of me. Track and Field Center, Training Center. I apologize for the delay. We had a very spirited meeting in here tonight, and I thank everybody who is still here for staying for that. So if you would begin by please rising, joining me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To begin, I'd like to call on Peter Olson, Attorney Olson, to get a couple of opening remarks, I think.
Thanks, yes. Good evening, I'm Peter Olson. I'm special counsel to the Town Board of Selectmen for this transaction only. I think we should start by having the legal notice read. Dion has that.
Yes.
Warning, notice of public hearing of the Town of Bethel, Connecticut. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Bethel, Connecticut hereby gives notice that the public hearing will be held on Monday, November 26, 2018 at 7 p.m. in Meeting Room A, Clifford J. Virgin Municipal Center, 1 School Street, Bethel, Connecticut 06801 for the following purpose: to receive public comments on a proposed ground lease and grant of the easements and covenants to the BHS Track and Field Center for a portion of the land located at 300 Whittlesey Drive containing 113.34 acres, more or less, and shown on the assessor's map of the Town of Bethel as map number 39, lot number 63, and lot number 82, an unnumbered parcel on Dodgentown Road containing 8.23 acres and shown on the assessor's map as map 39, block 63, and lot 79. 3 unnumbered parcels on Judd Avenue, each containing 0.23 acres and shown on the assessor's map as map 39, block 63, lot 79-2, 79-3, and 79.4 or 79-4, all of which parcels may be merged into a single parcel. Documents related to this proposal are on file in the Office of the First Selectman and the Office of the Town Clerk, dated at Bethel, Connecticut, the 7th day of November 2018, by the Board of Selectmen, Matthew S. Knickerbocker, First Selectman, Richard C. Straighten, Selectman, and Paul R. Zakowski, Selectman.
All right, thank you very much.
In addition, we published notice in the newspaper twice, as required by statute, and posted 2 signs on the property, one in the location of the proposed field house and one out by the road, since that first location was somewhat back. The proposal that's the subject of this public hearing is for an entity known as BHS Track and Field Center, Inc. to construct a field house adjacent to the high school in the area where the tennis courts are. The mechanism by which this will be accomplished is a ground lease to the entity of land that's owned by the Town of Bethel. The field house will be constructed, and then the lease will be allowed to expire, and possession of the field house and all of the appurtenances thereto will revert to town ownership. Statutes require a public hearing before the town sells or leases real property. Our charter allows the Board of Selectmen to act to approve leases unless they're more than 5 years or for more than $100,000. This proposed lease is for 2 years and is for $1 per year. So there's no requirement for a special town meeting to approve the transaction. In addition, there'll be a restrictive covenant placed on the land that is leased that governs the use, naming, and funding associated with the field house. So that's the subject of the public hearing tonight. I've asked Claris Construction, who represents the BHS Track and Field Center, to do a brief presentation on the proposed field house.
Good evening. My name is Mike Kozlowski. I am with Claris Construction in Newtown. We've been working on the project for the last 6 months or so. What I'm going to walk you through is the location of the building as it is in reference to the high school. I'm going to show you the exterior in 2 different views so you can get a feel for what it looks like from the outside, a 3D floor plan so you can see what the use is going to be, as well as an interior rendering to show what the inside finished space is going to look like. This is a Google Earth image with our 3D model overlaid on top of it. The front entrance of the high school is along here in the driveway, and the bus loop is right through here. The field house you see is right here, along where the old tennis courts currently are. We're starting pretty much right where the fence of the tennis courts are and moving this way towards 302 Downingtown Road. The structure itself is a pre-engineered metal building. It's as been described in the past, 4 walls and a roof is all we're really doing here. But it's housing the indoor program of the facility, which I will get to in a second. This is the exterior. We have a main entrance up here on the upper high school lot. New staircases going down to the lower lot, and on the back side you'll see the entrance into the lower level of the facility. Staircase again over here down the hill, lower level facility entrance, and an overhead door to get in either pieces of large equipment or hopefully it never has to be used for, but ambulance if needed. The back side facing the fields where the soccer field and the baseball and softball fields are, you'll be able to see from the elevated track through the windows. This is a 3D rendering. So the facility is 2 floors. The footprint's 48,000 square feet. The second floor accessible from the upper lot is about 13,000 square feet, and that is an elevated 200-meter track around the inside of the facility that overlooks down into the field house itself. Up here you'd have an entrance, an office space, workout equipment, 200-meter track, guardrail, and staircases and elevators that bring you down to the lower level. On the lower level you'd have all your field events. We have 2 high pitch, long jump pits, 2 pole vaults, a shot put, a high jump, and a 50-meter sprint track. And this would be a view from the 200-meter track inside. The goal is that it will be used for, primary use is the track and field training, but also be allowed to be used by any sport, any school in the school system for training purposes.
Thank you. That's all the comments I have in terms of an opening presentation.
Okay.
I think it would be appropriate to hear from members of the board.
Okay, the floor is open for comments from the public. If you would please give your name and address. Yes.
Bob Legnar, 11 Evergreen Drive. I'm totally in favor of this. We passed it through the Planning and Zoning Commission on to you guys saying that we were in favor of it. And I think it's a good thing for Bethel. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Yes.
Larry Kravis, 15 College Street, Chairman of the Board of Ed. We too are very supportive of this, obviously, and thank Yvonne and her family for the generosity. I have one question on that I didn't see there. How does this tie in with the finished police station now? On the back end.
You can see it.
I couldn't picture where it was going to be.
Yeah, no
Like
problem.
a second slide down. Yeah, right.
You can get the back. So this is under construction when the Google Earth shot was taken. So the back side of the police station is right here, right off the loop for the bus loop for the high school. So we're pretty close proximity with the police station.
We were talking at one time about a need for fencing around that, just to keep anybody from, I believe, the training center to get into the police property.
That fence the fence that's there will be relocated slightly just for security, but it's going to remain. There'll be a fence there.
And the other side of it is the top half of the cross-country trail and the wooded area that's between the parking lot and the trail. So there's a pretty good, all that is pretty much trees and, you know, if they're gonna come up from where they park and the entrance of the new track building and walk, they're gonna have to walk across the parking lot, up the hill, and then there's a fence right there with that, there's the old shot put area base that's there. There's a fence right there by the cell tower, so.
There's a lot of consternation on how we were gonna stage the construction, the equipment that would be coming in, and with all that is going on. I know the staging for the renovations are gonna be down, hopefully down at the old police station, so we'll be busing not only workers, but equipment up to to Rockwell and Johnson, but where would the staging for what you need?
So we've worked with Attorney Olson to come up with easements for different phases of construction. And it is described, I think, in the lease, the different areas as well of what we would need for construction.
We had conversations with Arianski and the principal of the high school regarding whether the easements were appropriate, where they should go. The lease contains those easement areas. Principally, the construction easement is in the rear of the high school on the backside, right next to this new facility.
So from the corner of the high school, across the parking lot, and then down here at a perimeter of about 10 feet around the footprint of the building, and then capturing where we're relocating the stair and the walkway will be the primary construction area while we do the initial site work and digging of the foundations and footings. Once that is completed, a lot of the steel and other materials will be, since the program of the facility is a big wide open space, will be used itself for material handling and staging. We also have easements for utilities coming up to this point to catch stormwater retention that comes down here.
Right.
And we have an easement coming up here for all the other utilities for gas, electrical, and sanitary. There is also an easement here at some point, we don't plan on using it for the entire course of construction, is to take this portion of the parking lot here for the parking of construction equipment, and that's more when the facility is actually enclosed. We're gonna need a little bit more space. But we're not gonna be putting the construction fence out here anytime soon. We wanna be able to allow the school to use the parking lot as long as possible. And we've been in, as Attorney Olson said, had meetings with the principal, gone over the schedule of when we anticipate doing that, and we plan on giving 2 to 3 week notice before anything like that ever happens.
Now, the back of that school is busy. Try to find a parking space there anytime during the days. Are you going to be bringing material in early in the morning, or when do you bring it in so that you can avoid all the parking?
Yeah, most likely it will have to be in the morning and in the evening. There is going to be some conflict throughout. We can't schedule every delivery to happen in a certain time frame, especially when steel may be coming at a certain time. But we will be, again, we'll know those dates 2 weeks prior, so we will be planning accordingly.
Good. Thank you.
No problem. We've already actually put up some temporary fencing, and the principal was actually in favor of that to get the students to become familiar with having the construction fencing up and how it was going to impact their day-to-day lives there. So.
More comments? Yes.
Diane Ryan, 13 Karen Drive. I'm really think it's a wonderful facility. My question was, I didn't see, you're not doing showers or bathroom facilities in there? I didn't notice.
So
that.
we do have. You can't see them on this floor plan. I apologize. They below this platform here, we have men's and women's restrooms. No showers. The showers will still be used in the high school. The other half over here, so if the restrooms would be right here in the center. This half underneath would be track and field training storage for mats and other equipment. And over here would be divided equally in 3 parts for other uses, such as for other sports or after-school activities, such as cheerleading, wrestling, ROTC would have designated storage spaces.
Sorry, what was your address?
13 Karen Drive.
I thought you said Karen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. More comments?
Just one. Is that a full bottom floor? There are 3 floors to this?
No, just 2 floors. So the lower level here, access down here on this end, 48,000 square foot footprint, and the upper level, access through stairs and up here.
But underneath the field activity floor.
Underneath this, where you see these pieces of equipment here,
Right.
that's the storage that's on the same grade as the floor here. So you access it through, there's a doorway here to underneath.
The center's all open from the second floor.
Right.
The track goes.
Now I wonder if the bottom Well, we have the restrooms and storage, whether that's gonna be the full length of the building or just a portion of it.
It's the full length here, underneath.
Okay.
More comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
Who will take over the responsibility of this after the lease is up?
Town of Bethel, Board of Ed.
The Board of Ed?
Yeah.
Board of Ed.
Yes,
And it will
that's
be
it.
treated as any other facility that they manage.
Yeah, that's in the covenant. Okay. Other questions, comments?
It's, I just, maybe Larry, you might know this. What kind of staff is gonna be required for that building after?
I don't think we.
Will someone have to
we have
manage
not-
it?
Yeah, that's coming up in a discussion that we're gonna have on December 8th and at our board meeting on the 6th of December. There's more talk about that, what needs to be done, how often, and so forth.
Right, and like, how's it maintained? Is it maintained by a janitor or
Right.
an outside service or what
Right.
that?
Those are all questions that have to be answered and decided upon.
And I know originally we had some discussion about the lease. There was some discussion from 1 year to 2 years and 5 years.
I can answer that.
Yes.
The final answer is it's a 2-year lease with a 1-year option of the lessee to extend if necessary. It was clearly important that it be less than 5 years to meet the charter requirement. 1 year was probably not enough to complete the construction, so we ended up at 2 years plus 1 just in case, and it can be early terminated by the lessee as well if it's done early.
And during the lessee of the facility, will they maintain it also, or is it go on the Board of Ed's maintenance
So
right away?
the purpose of the lease is to get to the issuance of a C of O. So it's not intended that the lease extend beyond that point by much time. There's a separate management agreement that we're working on between Yvonne Grimes and the Board of Education, that she will manage the facility for, I believe it's a 5-year time period, before the board
Okay,
has
that's
to
good.
step in and figure out how to manage it on its own. That management agreement provides that there's a manager, but that all of the custodial and other maintenance is handled by Board of Education staff.
All right, so that will happen once the CO is.
Correct.
And during construction, who does the insurance?
BHS Track and Field Center is required to maintain insurance on the property.
Okay. More questions? Yes.
Eileen Earl, 12 Eagle Rock Hill. Question, will the track be available to residents during the school hours, or is that something that's not been decided?
There's in the ground lease and the restrictive covenant, there's a priority for use of the field house that's set forth.
Okay,
The first priority is programs run by the Bethel Board of Education.
right,
Second priority is programs run by Bethel organizations for Bethel residents who aren't necessarily students.
okay,
And then third priority is general organizations who want to pay to rent it.
Or individuals, right?
And so
similar to the way the policies are now.
they're slightly different than the existing policies. The existing policies, I think those first two are blended together more than they are here.
Okay.
So there is a distinction.
Okay. And then the courtyard area that's there, that's attached to the school itself, like where the old stairs are?
Yes.
Is there any changes happening with that?
The staircase just gets pushed over closer to the school. It's a wider, to code staircase, new
Okay.
walkway, and some new landscaping outside, but
Okay. The courtyard itself is pretty much gonna stay the same?
correct.
Would the facility be, in that case, rented out for other functions under Park and Rec if it was available?
It is intended that third priority be people willing to pay to use it.
Okay, and where would those funds go?
Those funds are required to go to maintain the field house itself and the equipment that's in it,
In other words, an enterprise fund.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maintenance. Okay. Other comments?
I'll make a comment. Yvonne, thank you. You're really turning us into a Class A town, especially the campus. I keep on saying to many of my neighbors outside of Bethel, friends that is, you know, Bethel doesn't compare to any other town relative to our school community and the campus itself. Thank you for continuously upgrading it.
One thing we need
Yvonne
The
and
only thing
Kevin,
we need
thank
to
you.
know is who your biggest competitors are, so if they come and want to work out in our track, we can say no.
Well, Yvonne and Kevin, thank you very much for your generosity, and see, my son's two favorite track coaches are here, so welcome, Mr. Fontaine. Glad you could join us tonight. Any other comments? All right, hearing none?
Just thank you.
Yeah. This will close the public hearing. We plan to schedule a Board of Selectmen meeting at the earliest possible opportunity to move forward.
When will that be?
We have to look at the calendar. The next regular meeting is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, but if we have if everybody's in town, we'll see if we can schedule something before that. Because I think, are the machines actually running that are ready to dig?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll shut them off for tonight, and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. But we certainly do understand the urgency, and we are extremely anxious to get going on this. So,
What is your construction time?
We want to be open by mid-November. We will be open mid-November of next year, 2019. We
okay.
have steel already ordered and ready to be, arriving early spring.
And let us all do a dance for really, really good weather.
Yes.
I don't want any hurricanes, I don't want any floods.
Snowstorms.
Snowstorms. All right. Okay, thank you. Oh, Jim.
I just, what is the floor makeup of the first floor with
The
is
whole,
that a concrete floor? Is that
no,
a
that's all
porch or-
track. The gray and the maroon you see in here is all track surface. It's just it's a
Rubberized.
rubberized surface, similar to what you have on the outdoor track.
Cool.
Drainage and everything underneath.
Hopefully, we won't need that inside.
I was just gonna ask, ventilation, what do you have air conditioning?
No, it is heating and ventilation only. So we have a heating system for the colder months. We have large, slow rotation, high volume fans up in the ceiling, as well as a venting system. But it is set up for the future. If a air conditioning system did want to be installed, it can easily be accepted. The other thing I forgot to mention is we are, if you see in the Google Earth image, you see solar panels up here. That direction is facing almost directly south, which is the optimal angle, and the roof pitch is the optimal angle for solar panels. We are prepping for future, and it will be easily tied into the high school, so that when the high school decides to move towards a solar campus, they could easily be able to use this roof as part of their solar array. This roof size, we did a calculation. We'd only need about 20% of that roof to run the facility, meaning the other 80% of that roof could be covered with solar panels and could run a good portion of the campus. So.
Cool. Great. Terrific. Any other comments or questions? Going once, going twice? All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Mrs. Grimes, thank you again. I look forward to being on hand when start up the machine and start digging. And I'll give you a call tomorrow with the date. So it'll be within the next number of